I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please, Mrs. Damon.
Mrs. Wheeler? Dr. Wagley?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kunkel?
Yes.
Mr. Canwisher?
Here.
Mr. Ayers?
Here.
And Mrs. Brockman?
Here. Please rise and join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any questions regarding this evening's agenda? If not, I will take a motion.
I move the board approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Director Director Ayers, second by Director Canwisher, to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Vision statement. It is the vision of the Pleasant Valley Community School District to provide the finest academic and extracurricular programs in the state, not in some things, but in everything, not for some students, but for every student. Moving on to communications concerns and constructive ideas for the district. I'd like to welcome all our guests tonight. It's nice to see some people out there. If there's anyone that is here to speak on a non-agenda item, now would be your opportunity to do so. Do we have anyone that would like to speak tonight? All right, we will move on to the board table. We'll start with Mrs. Kenyon.
I have nothing, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Zinn.
Nothing tonight.
All right, Mr. Hyatt.
I have nothing tonight, except for I just wanted to congratulate our Spartan Spotlighters for awesome performance this past weekend. It's incredible. Always a goosebump effect when you attend that event and see the skills come out and the relationships built.
That's very, very cool. Thank you. And then Dr. Smith.
So I can congratulate the girls' track team and their performance up there at the Drake Relays.
Absolutely.
I can pass.
Director Canwisher.
Nothing for me tonight, thank you.
Director Wagley.
Nothing for me tonight.
All right. And Director Ayers.
I have nothing, thank you.
Dr. Kunkel.
Yes, I just wanted to, because we're not meeting next week, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. I know elementary schools are busy, PTAs are busy preparing for that, and parents are participating in that, and I just wanted to share the gratitude for our amazing teachers that we have in this district and the work that they put in all school year to make it a welcoming place for our students. And then I just had one more kind of plug for right after prom. I know there's a few parents at the high school that have been working so hard, collecting donations, going to different businesses to make that night a success. And really the community effort to have that safe place for our high school students is very important. So if anyone wants to donate to that, I just encourage everybody. You can find that on the Facebook page. It's also in e-news. There's a QR code. You can do a monetary donation. You can sign up to volunteer, or just even donating items for prizes to make it a fun night.
Absolutely, thank you. Mrs. Damon, did you have anything?
Yes, there's an updated personnel listing printed in that table.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cleveland?
I have nothing.
Okay. Mr. Cruz?
I do real quick. I just want to thank everybody. Today was our Pleasant Valley Education Foundation golf outing today. And it just takes a village of people to make that happen. Remember, all the money that we raise for that goes towards our scholarship foundation for our graduating seniors, of which we're giving 141 to 142 scholarships out this year. And just again, great thanks to everybody. Heather Larson, who is our foundation secretary, everything that we do at the foundation, she really did a lot of that work for us and did a great job. And everybody from all of our sponsors, whether it's whole sponsors, flag sponsors, to cart sponsors, to everybody, we are hoping to raise again a lot of money for our seniors. So again, thanks to everyone who participated and also who made it possible. So kudos to them. And thank you, Heather.
Thanks, Heather. Also, you guys had a great day for it.
We did.
I
We will
have
not complain.
I have golfed when it's been very, very cold, so it's nice to have a good day for it. A little
Yes.
windy, but
Won't complain.
You can blame that on your golf game, right? You
Yeah,
can
exactly
blame it
right.
on the wind.
Thank
So,
you.
all right, moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding this evening's consent agenda? If not, I will take a motion.
I move the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Ayers, second by Director Wogley to approve this evening's consent agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will move on to approval of bills. And we will start with the general fund. I will take a motion.
I move the general fund warrants be issued in the total amount of $160,757.15 in payment of invoices presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Kunkel, second by Director Ayers, that general fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nutrition fund.
I move that nutrition fund warrants be issued in the total amount of $95,264.05 in payment of invoices presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Ayers, second by Director Smith, that nutrition fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Elementary Junior High Activity Fund.
I move that the elementary junior high activity fund warrants be issued in the total amount of $8,043.85 in payment of invoices presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Wogley, second by Director Canwisher, that elementary junior high activity fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? High school activity fund.
I move the high school activity fund warrants be issued in the total amount of $43,144.22 in payment of invoices presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Kunkel, second by Director Smith, that high school activity fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Management fund.
I move that management fund warrants be issued in a total amount of $672.57 in payment of invoices as presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Smith, second by Director Kunkel, that management fund that management fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Capital Projects Fund.
I move the capital project funds warrants be issued in the total amount of $1,268,101.97. Payment of invoices presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Canwisher, second by Director Ayers, that Capital Project Fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions?
I just had a question. So the IMEG, I know it's a small amount of money, but is the testing done? What was it? Do you know what the testing is for? Like it was for Forest Grove and junior high. Was it for? Did they deal with the construction project that we were just finishing up?
Correct. Yes, exactly right.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Physical Plant and Equipment Levy Fund.
I move that Pepple fund warrants be issued in a total amount of $17,865.71 in payment of invoices as presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Smith, second by Director Ayers, that Pepple Fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions?
Just curious to know, what is a taco seal kit? I was reading that and I was like.
I'm like, does this go in
all?
nutrition fund
I
warrants?
didn't realize that some mechanical thing was called taco. And it was mentioned twice.
No, Brian, otherwise
I-
we have to ask Leland about
We'll have
that.
to ask Leland on that one, the taco, yes, we'll see.
All right, any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Student Construction Fund.
I move that the student construction fund warrants be issued in a total amount of $-198.11 in payment of invoices presented.
Second.
We don't normally have a negative.
I'm guessing that's a credit, something must have been
Big
returned or
return.
something.
I understand that, I'm just saying we don't normally have.
It is
I'd like to see
unusual.
more. We'd like to see more.
Bigger dollar amounts.
We need to see more. All right, thank you. Motion by Director Ayers, second by Director Kunkel, that Student construction fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Internal service fund.
I move the internal service fund warrants 6645 to 6646 and ACH 3278 through 3281 be issued in the total amount of $325,257.16 in payment of invoices presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Wogley, second by Director Canwisher, that internal service fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And lastly, trust fund.
I move that trust fund warrants be issued in the total amount of $427.01 in payment of invoice presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Ayers, second by Director Smith, that trust fund warrants be issued in the total amount of invoices presented. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, there is no old business this evening, so we'll move right on to new business. And I will turn it over to Bruce.
Thank you. Well, tonight we are taking a special moment. Sometimes this would be done in our recognition part of our agenda, but tonight we thought it was well worth making an agenda item to spend some time, and that is once again to honor Mike for the great work that he has done, and his peers across the state recognize this great success that he has had in his role here at Pleasant Valley over the last 20 plus years here in Pleasant Valley. And to do that, Tom Anderson from Muscatine is here, again, a colleague of Mike's, doing the same role down there. So he is going to honor Mike this evening with the award that he received at the IASBO conference here 2 weeks ago, I suppose, or a week and a half.
And about a week and a half
ago when he was there. So again, Tom, if you do this for us, we'd really
Sure.
appreciate it.
As Brian said, my name's Tom Anderson. I'm the Director of Finance for Muscatine Schools, and I'm currently on the IASBO Board of Directors, serving as Board Secretary. So Mike's receiving the Iowa Professional Leadership Award. It's one of the highest honors that Iowa ASBO bestows upon its members. The awards are not just a measure of extraordinary deeds or lengthy career, that they are recognition for those school business officials throughout their career and lifetime have demonstrated excellence in service to their district, to their communities, and to their profession. So the two awards are presented each year. Then the recipients receive a $1,000 scholarship to present to a graduating high school senior from the recipient school district. It's a customized award here for the recipient's office, an invitation to the next IASBO Leadership Conference, and also reimbursement for registration, airfare, lodging, up to a fixed amount to attend the next Iowa ASBO International Conference. So the criteria considered for the selection process include leadership in the schools. So the candidate has gone above and beyond the call of duty to improve the learning conditions for students in their school system. Leadership in the profession. The candidate has demonstrated commitment to improving the level of professionalism among school business officials through active participation in the association and specifically as a volunteer in our IASBO Mentor Program. The candidate also has demonstrated a continuous interest in learning and staying abreast of developments in the field of school business management. And the leadership in the community. The candidate has demonstrated an active interest in improving their community throughout participation in local events and serving as a positive role model. So, Mike and I go way back. I've known him for 25 years. I think we both started the same year. Yep. So he has been here so long that he's seen a 77% increase in students since he started in July of 2000. His responsibilities include developing the district's 5-year capital projects plan, which is updated several times a year annually, arrangement of borrowing of those funds for capital projects, overseeing the district's employee benefits plans, supervision of the district's school business office, updating business-related board policies, developing and updating the district's 5-year comprehensive financial planning model, work with the district's auditors, in prep, actually of your annual comprehensive financial report, which Mike helped me start doing one in Muscatine. So he's also responsible for providing data for making decisions related to negotiations and such. So Mike oversaw the implementation of a new accounting system back in when he first started, Software Unlimited, yep. And the comprehensive financial planning model, and then the ACFR, which he's done for 9 years now. So also, Mike has served as our regional director for IASBO. He's been in that for probably almost 4 years now, or is going on maybe 3 years. And he was the regional secretary for probably 2 or 4 years, at least when I was the chair there. He's been an IASBO mentor. He's sat on the conference planning committee. He's served as room host many years. Both him and I do that about every year. So, and he's also presented at IASBO conferences. And obviously he attends, the spring and fall conference we have every year, the regional meetings he's been coordinating. And then he's attended IASBO international events. So it's my honor to present Mike this Professional Leadership Award, and you guys have a good one, so congratulations.
Okay, Mike, don't trip over this.
Have to do the limbo.
Yeah, we should have had you do that.
Right here? All right, you take this. You need to hold this.
All right.
And then we'll shake.
All right.
You went in with Kitty, his wife?
Let's do that.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, Heather. With me bossing people around. Looks good, Kitty. To the side a little bit, just kidding.
My wife wants to take a picture.
This Tom, Mike, Anita.
Let's get his wife in there too. That would be nice.
No, she didn't.
Thank you. It's about Mike.
Thank you. Can I just thank a few people? All right. Set this here, make sure it doesn't slide off. All right. Well, first I want to thank Tom for coming. As he said, we got started in school business the same year, back in the year 2000. So we've known each other for a long time. Tom is actually a former winner of the Iowa Professional Leadership Award. How many years ago was it that you won it?
The COVID year, 2020.
Okay. So yeah, and Tom, I consider him a friend aside from a colleague. We've traveled many times up to Des Moines and Ames together for conferences and stuff, and so done some social events too. Our region went to a Quad City River Bandits baseball game a year or two ago, and so he's a very good friend and a very good business manager. He started in West Liberty as a business manager 25 years ago, and now he's in Muscatine. Still lives in West Liberty, but commutes to Muscatine.
You
So.
gained the students. I think Muscatine has lost it. I know where they've gone, so.
So anyway, thank you, Tom, for this. Also, I have to give credit to our entire business office here at Pleasant Valley. All the current ones and all the ones that I've worked with in the past. I've been very, very fortunate to have great people to work with in our business office here over the years. So none of this would be possible if it wasn't for them. So thank you to all of them who I've worked with. Great school boards, of course, too, that I've worked with over the years. I'd say we've never had a bad school board here, in my opinion. We've always had great school board members. And lastly, I think everybody has met my wife, Kitty, before. She's a teacher down at Edison Academy. I thank her for putting up with all of the various organizations that I've been a part of since I've been here at Pleasant Valley. LeClaire Little League, LeClaire Lions Club, the LeClaire Chamber of Commerce, currently the River Valley Optimist Club we're members of. Somehow I got roped into being a member of the LeClaire Tourism Board now too because of retirement and not being able to say no. And I was also used to be involved on the Tug Fest committee out there in LeClaire. So I've got a lot of paperwork in my office at home from all of those various, and of course I'm usually the treasurer of most of those organizations too. Kitty accuses me of being a pack rat, but I tell her I'm just busy with all of it. So anyway, thanks to everybody, and I really appreciate it, so very much.
Way to go, Mike. Very deserving.
Is the international conference in Tahiti by chance?
It's in Fort Worth next year. Last year was in Nashville.
Well, Mike, I know as a board, we all feel very, very, very fortunate to have you be ours. We always ask you tough questions. We ask a lot of you, and you always go back to the drawing board. You always go digging, and you do it with a smile on your face, and then you give your team all the credit. So
Well, they deserve it too.
I know. So we just really appreciate you, and we just feel very fortunate to have your you a part of our district for so many years.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
I was at a legislative session over the weekend, and they specifically mentioned the complications of school board finance. And they said, if you can understand school funding in this state, then you can almost understand any spreadsheet at all that's given to them. And I did happen to say, well, we have such a great individual like yourself that makes it look very easy. And so I think everybody realizes how hard school board finance is and all the complications associated with it, and you really make it look easy and seamless. So it takes a special person with special knowledge and somebody who's has attention to detail, and you have proven all that, and I'm happy your work has shown that, and you're being recognized for this, because it really is commendable.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Decided that we get to see you here for another 25 years. Amazing.
Can I work 25 more years? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very deserving.
Congratulations, Mike. Thank you. Very proud of you.
All right. Moving on to the introduction of our newly appointed school resource officers. Mr. Struz.
Yes, if I could have the three of you come forward, that'd be greatly appreciated. Today is kind of a bittersweet moment, but also an exciting moment for our district moving forward as well. Tonight we're just doing a quick recognition so you can see their face and know who they are as well. Just last week, Deputy Fa was just recognized and promoted to Sergeant Fa. So because of that promotion, he will be leaving our school district here at the end of the school year. As you know, Jamie is an individual who has a huge heart for our school district, being he's a graduate of Pleasant Valley. He will do anything for us, from coaching to being with kids, and he understands how kids operate and just really works with them in a very kind way. That kids come to him, they don't see him necessarily as an officer, but they see him as almost a counselor at times, and someone that they can reach out to when they need support, which is what is so important about our school resource officers. They're more than just coming in and trying to protect kids. They're also there and help kids mentally and everything else that we need to have today. So Jamie, we wish you all the very, very best in your future endeavors. We know it's well deserved, and you'll do a great job there, and you're still going to be a resourcer on speed dial when we need you to. So you're not going to get away that fast.
Yes, I will.
But also before you tonight are the two individuals that about a month ago we had interviews with Sergeant Loggy from the Sheriff's Department as well, and Mike Pekin, Deanne Kramer, and I'm trying to think who the third one was that was in the interviews. Thank you. Lori Brashy was in there as well from Cody Sweet, all three levels represented. And the two candidates that they have walked away unanimously wanting to have in our school district would be on your right is Kurt Wilson. Kurt is currently with EICC, and he's their school resource officer over there, so we were able to steal him away and be a part of that. If you've seen Kurt around, Kurt has done a number of our events at night at the junior high or at the high school, whether it be football or basketball or other events. And to everyone's left is Paul Pridemore. Paul is coming to us and already has kind of stepped in at the junior high and getting to know that because Deputy Bawden is out right now on medical leave. So Paul's been kind enough to come in and step in and start learning the ropes before July 1. So we're very excited about that. It was nice to see him tonight because our last interaction was in a car accident in front of the high school. So it's good to see him in this role here tonight. But junior high is very excited to have him on board there as well, and speaking highly of him and what he's doing there. And his wife, Johanna, is sitting here in the front row. She is our activities assistant to Deanne Kramer at the high school. So again, bringing more people into our family here at Pleasant Valley, which is very exciting. But big shoes to fill, but I know both of you do a great job. And we're very excited to have you here on staff starting July 1 with us. So very appreciative. And Deputy Bodden could not make it tonight, but again, just a huge thank you to him and what he's done at the junior high and elementary schools. And both of these will serve. Kurt will be more stationed at the high school and help on the south end here with elementary schools. Paul will be on the north end with junior high station and then also the elementaries out there, and then just sharing duties together. So with that, any questions you have for them, you're more than welcome to.
I just welcome Kurt and Paul and say, I know tons of high schoolers that really enjoyed the relationship with you. You will be missed.
I just really appreciate everything. You know, I don't remember when it was, but several months ago when there was a recognition for you and how you handled a certain situation, and it was all because of relationships. And that has stuck in my mind. And I knew underneath you always had great relationships with the students, but the fact that that relationship really has profound impact to the point where it can really affect them in certain situations is what's so important. And I welcome both of you, and I hope that you guys have the same skills that he does to really have good relationships. That really saves us a lot of stress. And also, I really appreciate you, Jamie, for always being available, even on the weekends when I would have to call you on things or email you. And your steadfastly response has always been well appreciated, and your dedication to the district. Thanks again.
Some of us do expect like theater passes into the movies when you're working. Movie theater here.
I think that we could check, but there's something to do with state law, and you have to check with someone who's more legally astute than me.
Love it. Well, we hope we can still see you there, Deputy Fa.
I'll probably be there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you will definitely be missed, Deputy Fa. I think one of my favorite memories was when I was looking for you at the after prom event, and you were on the volleyball court and in an intense game. I don't know if he's filled you in on all the roles that he plays, but there's a lot of roles. So we really appreciate just, you know, the really important things that you've done for our students, but also doing those with a smile on your face and becoming friends with these students and being the person that they can look to for help and guidance when things aren't so good. So thank you so much.
You know, I think what someone mentioned about Jamie always being available. I always knew that when there was a situation at the high school or any place like that, and I would get a 911 call, I was right on the phone to Jamie, and Jamie's like, hey, Brian, here's what's going on. I mean, he always knew, always is a great resource for me. Also a great resource when it comes to safety in our district. When we have questions, let's call Jamie, let's get Jamie's opinion, let's see what we should be doing, and then he would research it, make sure we always knew what was best for us. And that's really why we look to these guys and what can they do. It's not, I mean, they're a partner with us. They're making sure our kids have a safe environment every single day. So we'll really miss that about you and your availability and always being there. And again, whether he's in the front row of the student sketch section on a Friday night cheering and holding signs or doing whatever, he's very well liked by the kids. What he does. So, Paul, do you want to introduce your family that is here tonight with you?
I'm more than happy to.
Thank you.
So, my wife Joanna, my youngest daughter Addison, my son Damien, my middle daughter Isabel, and my oldest daughter Olivia, who unfortunately went to Bettendorf, but it's okay.
And still has a smile on her face, so well done. Jamie, do you want to introduce the young man in the back behind there?
Yes, this is Richard Wallstrom. He's my father-in-law. And again, we won't hold it against him that he was on the school board at a district that had a bulldog as their logo. When I started dating his daughter, she told him, well, I'm bringing this guy, we're going to go on a date. He was still on the school board at Bettendorf. And he says, well, who's this? He goes, well, he's a coach at Pleasant Valley. So and that piqued someone's ears very quickly. It worked out all right for me, so.
Oh, shoot.
That's cool.
That's
Excellent.
great.
Well, gentlemen, again, thank you. Welcome to Pleasant Valley, and we look forward to working with you on a daily basis as well.
Thanks for having us. It's a
Thanks for
pleasure
having
meeting
us.
all of you.
Yeah, thank you everyone so much. I appreciate all the kind sentiments, and I will absolutely miss every day that I'm not at the school. But maybe I'll get to see some of our kids at night because I'm going to night shift. So
Some of us maybe, right?
watch it. But yeah, so I will miss it. It was a tough decision. My family had to come to together, but it's just the right thing professionally. And so sometimes in order to advance your career, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So, I would have loved to have been a school resource officer for 20 years, but, that time has passed and these guys are gonna do awesome. So you guys are in great hands. All right, I'm done.
Don't put any pressure on me, Jim. Look forward to the opportunity to working with everybody. So, really appreciate the opportunity.
Paul and Kurt, are these gonna be, is this a 2 or 3 year assignment?
It's 5.
It's 5 years. Okay. Has it always been 5 years? Brian?
They were always a situation where typically they would change after 5 years, but they have allowed them recently to stay on longer.
Okay, I knew this, I thought they had to change it, but I thought it was 3 years.
Because Jamie, how long were you with?
So I did 5 years, and then when 2 years ago it came up again. So I will be finishing my 7th school year when I finish here. So, which some people feel like I've been here forever. But yeah,
5 years, but renewable potentially.
yeah. As long as everybody agrees that that's what they want, then yeah. So hopefully, many years to come.
Yes. Yes.
Kurt or Paul, anything else you would like to say tonight?
First of all, thank you for accepting my position. I'm excited to be here. Brian said I've been here with the school district since 2008. I've been with Deputy Ruckhold, Lieutenant Weipert, and Jamie, and I've always wanted to get my foot in the door, and things work out with everybody's path. I've been at resource officer for 2 years at Scott Community College. And it's been a very emotional decision making the connection I have there, but all in all, my heart's always been with the best school district in the state of Iowa. So I'm ready to I'm just blessed to be here.
One lesson, yeah.
I've been around a while. So thank you guys for having us. Thank you so much.
And just a few weeks ago, he took a pie in the face over at Scott Community College for a fundraiser over there as well. So he'll fit in quite well at the high school.
I have a feeling he will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We got a band concert we gotta get to.
We do, that's exactly right. Get over there quickly.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we will move on to the adoption of the 2025-26 budget and taxes. Mr. Queensmith.
All right, tonight is near the end of the very interesting certified budget process for this year. You have a document in your board packet, which I'm gonna kind of zoom in on here. This is the board packet. The information in here is what we normally present to the board on the night that we adopt the certified budget. And there's just maybe 3 pages or so that I want to point out some numbers on in this packet. The first thing I'm going to point out is on what would be the first page after the title page. Here. So this was what we were looking at back when we did our first public hearing regarding the certified budget on April 14th. At that time, the certified budget was being looked at based on 4% SSA. Because again, we had no idea at the time, and technically, the governor has not signed SSA yet, but at that time, we really had no idea what SSA was going to be set at. And the way it works is, well, this is what got sent out to taxpayers in the district on March 20th, was based on potentially 4% SSA. And how it works is, after you send that out to the county, to the taxpayers in the district, your total property taxes levied, which is on row 10 on this page in the far right column where it says budget year proposed property tax dollar levy for fiscal year 26, the $27,724,139 you see on this page. So that is the most, and that is the most amount of property taxes that could be levied for next year. After we did that, you can't ever raise the taxes any more than that $27,724,139. So again, that's what was sent out to taxpayers in the district back on March 20th, based on a 4% SSA. The next page in the packet That is what was published in the newspaper a couple weeks ago. And at that time, again, the governor had not set SSA, so at that time, we decided to publish in the newspaper, what if SSA comes in at 0%? Because if the legislature still hadn't set SSA, and the governor still hasn't signed it, SSA potentially could have been set at 0%. So this page is based on SSA at 0%, but similarly, for total property taxes levied, on this top line here, I believe it should be, for budget 2026 on row 1, it's $14 less than what it was on the previous page, because again, you can't raise the property taxes from what was originally set out to the property taxpayers in the district. You can only lower it or keep it the same. How we got it to work out the same on all these is by adjusting our management fund levy, because as we've talked about at previous board meetings, we cannot levy anything for cash reserve for next year. So the only real latitude we had on adjusting things in the levy this year was in our management fund. So anyway, so that page was at 4% SSA, or 0% SSA. Then if you go to the 5th page in on the board packet, which would be this page here. So now we know the legislature has set SSA at 2%. The governor just hasn't signed it yet. So on this page, we reflect SSA being at 2%. So again, on the total dollars levied, if I scroll down a little bit here towards the bottom, the total dollars levied on this page shows $27,637,861 on line 22 in the far right column. So again, that is less than the previous two amounts when we had projected SSA at 0% and 4%. So this is based on 2%, which the legislature has approved, and we're still waiting for the governor to sign. So what our levy would do for next year then, it would go down. Currently this year, our levy rate rounded to the nearest penny is $13.46 per thousand. Next year, our levy rate would go down to $12.20.5. So rounded to the nearest penny, $12.21. So about a $1.25 decrease to our property tax levy rate for next year. And again, the main reason for that is our general fund levy rate is quite a bit less than it would have been a year ago, because on lines 3 and 4 on this page, you can see we're levying $0 for the cash reserve levy. And again, the reason for that is because our cash balances in the general fund have reached above the maximum level. I'll show you that actually on one of the next to the last pages in this document. This page here, this is the calculation of when you can levy cash reserve and when you can't levy cash reserve. Our general fund expenditures for the 2023-24 fiscal year in the far left column were $66,797,984. Actually, I think I need to go down to the next page to show it better. No. Here we go. It was this page. Yeah, so yeah, our 2023-24, the last completed fiscal year, our expenditures were $66,797,984 in the general fund. You're limited to your fund balance being no more than 20% to be able to levy for cash reserve. Well, if you take 20% of the $66,797,984, that is $13,359,597. But our fund balance at June 30th of 2024 was $13,544,629. So we were $185,000, not much, all things considered, but $185,032 above the limit where we would be able to levy for cash reserve. And in previous years, we've levied sometimes, well, we've always had a practice of levying the maximum amount we're allowed to for cash reserve. So in some years, we've levied close to $2 million in cash reserve. And again, you use the cash reserve levy to cover things such as the district's special education deficit that we have. You also use it to levy, just if you're running short on cash, for additional, cash or working capital in your general fund are the reasons for the cash reserve levy. But again, for this year, we were $185,032 above the maximum. So that summarizes the main points of what's in the board packet here. I'll take any questions if anybody has any questions from the board. Otherwise, I believe we need to have a public hearing, and then we would just need the board to formally adopt the budget so that we can submit it to the county by April 30th, which is 2 days from now, so.
Okay,
So,
first I'll take questions from the board.
so the last board meeting, we talked about the package for the teachers and that we read, about like $200-something thousand. So that will then come out of the cash reserves, is that correct?
Well, it comes out of that. Well, it comes out of the fund balance and the carryover, the district carryover also.
The other question, I've got a question about, it's 20% this year, but did I read correctly that they're talking about reducing it further and cutting how much reserve fund we can have?
In management fund, they're talking about limiting how much we can have in a fund balance in the management fund.
Okay, it's in the management fund.
But I haven't heard anything about changing the 20% limit
sure
in the
that's
general
right.
fund.
Thanks, Mike.
There is some talk of the legislature about the property tax relief. Is that what you're kind of referring, is that what you're referring to? About property tax relief? It's, if it hasn't passed so far this year.
That's one of the components of property tax relief is the management fund limitation.
That is it. My guess is it's gonna come up again next year.
If it doesn't pass between now and then.
Exactly, and probably it won't, and then it's an election year next year, so it probably will pass next. And so in that, in the discussion so far now, it's maybe just a management fund that they're talking about, that would be the part of the relief?
Well, there'd be a lot of changes in this property tax reform. They would change the amount of the uniform levy in the general fund, which is currently $5.40 per $1,000 of taxable valuation. So they would lower that, which would cause the state to pick up more in state aid if they did that, which, well,
That would come in SSA then, if they
would
put
be
two and
part
two
of the
together.
SSA, right. They're also talking about lowering in half how much you could levy for in the PEPAL fund. So like right now, we can levy 33 cents for the board approved levy and $1.34 for the voter approved. They're talking about cutting those in half. Also, the debt service levy, which we do not have a debt service levy here at Pleasant Valley because we don't have general obligation debt, but they're talking about cutting that in half also. So also, the residential rollback would go away, and instead of having the residential rollback, every property, at least residential property in the district, districts across the state, would get a $50,000 exclusion from your assessed valuation. But right now, the residential rollback, for example, is like 48% or something like that. So instead of getting a 48% or whatever they set it at each year residential rollback, properties would just get a $50,000 exclusion. So obviously that makes a huge difference if you have a $600,000 assessed valuation house compared to a $100,000 valuation house. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. I know, Brian, you viewed the webinar from Matt Gillespie's firm, Financial Advisors, and I don't know if there's
Mike's
anything
spot
you
on.
wanna
The
add.
only other, they think that the 1% sales tax may go up. They anticipate that could be an offset a little bit to a positive of the whole thing. But overall, there's just so many questions that, like Matt Gillespie and his team are really looking. I think the legislators are also asking for questions to see what the impact will be. So hopefully it does get delayed because there's just so many questions beginning with what's going to happen. And they can't tell you exactly what's going to happen to every district right now, what the long-term impact would be.
But right now, if with this discussion with regards to the amount of all these levies being reduced, the only way to make that up is through SSA.
The state would take on more.
They would take on more.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But if they continue at the 2% rate, and all these levies go down, then the district would have even much less money than what we were getting before, correct?
That's the unknown.
But if that were in that scenario, that is exactly what we would expect. Am I correct there? Unless something else changes.
In the general fund, the state would make up the lower amount of the uniform levy with additional state aid, so but with the valuations going down, yes, it most likely would cause us to get less revenue.
Well, I would think if they change from the rollback to $50,000 exclusion, the district frankly probably would get hit pretty hard.
So right now, the last webinar, I think they said the higher that you have taxable valuation, like in a district where you have more of that from housing, there would be maybe less change than some other areas where you have like agricultural and things of that. So they could see a bigger hit. I think that's kind of what they're saying. So for us, we could fall in that top piece maybe where we have more taxable valuation from a home standpoint.
I was talking, from the homeowner's perspective, so
Yeah.
not from the board
Oh, yeah.
perspective, right? The homeowners will pay more in property tax.
Also noteworthy to the homeowners is the assessed valuations going up.
Yeah.
That are bleeding.
Right.
Now, also, we do get PEPAL funds from industry, from commercial real estate. So was there any talk about changing that as well?
There's agricultural and commercial would also have some changes there too. So they've tried to go through and look at, how big of a change would that be? So they've played some scenarios out. Now again, our district would have less agricultural, less commercial compared to a lot of places.
Even with
They're
the,
pretty much housing.
even with the 2% SSA this year, according to the budget, there's a $900 million deficit at the state level. So if this ends up happening and more goes on to the state, and they're already dealing with a $900 million deficit, along with less tax revenue coming in, then we're interested to see what happens.
And that's the questions they're trying to work through right now.
Thanks.
Those were my questions, thank you.
Any other questions? So I will open it up for a public hearing. Are there any comments or questions regarding? All right, and I will go out of public hearing. All right, with that, if there's no other questions or discussion, I will take a motion.
At this meeting, the Board of Directors of the Pleasant Valley Community School District held as provided by law, and finding that the notice of the time and place of hearing has, according to law, and as directed by the board, been published on the 10th day of April 2025 in the Quad City Times, and that the affidavit of publication thereof was on file. And after hearing any resident or taxpayer presenting objections to or arguments in favor of any part of the proposed budget, I move that the board adopt the attached budget summary together with property tax levies totaling $27,637,861 and a levy rate of $12.20.574 per 1,000 of taxable valuation for 2025-26.
Second.
Motion by Director Kunkel, second by Director Ayers. At this meeting, the Board of Directors of the Pleasant Valley Community School District held as provided by law, and finding that the notice of the time and place of this hearing has, according to law, and as directed by the board, been published on the 10th day of April 2025 in the Quad City Times, and that the affidavit of publication thereof was on file. And after hearing any resident or taxpayer presenting objections to or arguments in favor of any part of the proposed budget, the board moves the board adopt the attached budget summary together with property tax levies totaling $27,637,861 and the levy rate of $12.205574 per $1,000 of taxable valuation for the 2025-26 year. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Wadley?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kunkel?
Yes.
Mr. Canwisher?
Yes.
Mr. Ayers?
Yes.
And Mrs. Buckman?
Yes. And I will turn it over to Brian to talk about the 2025-26 classified employee wage and benefit package.
So in your board packet again this evening, the supplemental materials, you have a copy of the one-page document that Mike had provided at our last board meeting that went through the dollars and cents in regards to our teacher package and where we landed in terms of positions and we were adding, and also some the reductions that we were having. As a part of that, one of the lines that Mike had shown you on that was that there was $236,581.61 that included the 1.68% increase for our classified staff as well. Last week, we had 4 meet and confer sessions with classified staff who wanted to attend those either virtually or in person. And so at that point, we shared with them that there was gonna be a 1.68 total package increase as well. So tonight, we're looking at having that approved. Anything you'd wanna add, Mike, to that?
I don't have anything to add. We had pretty good attendance, I felt like, most of those,
On average, we had probably 10 or 15 people attend each of those sessions that we had.
Any other questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
Will the board approve 2025-2026 classified employees wage and benefits packages as presented?
Second.
Motion by Director Walker, second by Director Conrad, that the board approve the 2025-26 classified employees wage and benefits package as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Worgley?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kunkel?
Yes.
Mr. Canwisher?
Yes.
Mr. Ayers?
Yes.
And Mrs. Brockman?
Yes. The 2025-26 custodial contract approval, Brian?
Similarly speaking, as we just talked about the classified staff, we do the same thing with the custodial staff. Because again, we try to keep it across the board, 1.68 for everybody there. Just a reminder, you will not see food service because they're part of the, they go through the food service component, but again, they're 1.68 as well. Nothing new here. The only thing I would add is that we are making one change for this coming year for our custodians who were part-time. Lori Wakeland will be sending out an email to them. We've had a different, how can I explain it, vacation package situation for them. Now that anyone who's part-time but full-time with us, they will be getting their vacations based upon their total years of service with us. So they will be picking up some days there that they had not in the past, and that just keeps us in line with every other classified staff group that we had. So make a change in our contract there. Does not impact the 1.68 at all, just putting them in line. So again, would like it to be more than 1.68. Again, that is not a huge raise in what we look at we're doing today. So, but that is the number for custodial as well.
And to reiterate, had we had an increase in the health insurance, that would have really, a lot of that would have been taken up by health insurance premium.
Yeah, so, yes,
For the employee, because there's more that gets weighted on the employee.
right.
exactly correct. Yes, so that raise would have been eaten up. They would have paid in insurance, correct?
And so in this 281,000 deficit that we have here, is that including the custodial contract or not?
Yes,
It is, okay.
that's part of the 236,561.
All right, any other questions? I'll take a motion.
I move the board approve the 2025-26 custodial contract wage and benefits package agreement as presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Canwisher, second by Director Ayers, that the board approve the 2025-26 custodial contract wage and benefits package agreement presented. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Worgley?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kunkel?
Yes.
Mr. Canwisher?
Yes.
Mr. Ayers?
Yes.
And Mrs. Brockman?
Yes. Mr. Clinging Smith, monthly financial reports.
All right, we are 3/4 of the way through another fiscal year here at the end of March. In the board packet, I have the first page, the general fund up on the screen. You can see our ending fund balance at March 31st of this year in the general fund is just over $19 million. So that is running about $2.5 million or so ahead of where it was at this time a year ago in the general fund. I did not really see anything in any of the funds here at the end of March that looked unusual or out of the ordinary to me. Everything's pretty much tracking where we would expect it to be here 3/4 of the way through the fiscal year. Of course, March and April and May are when we get the big second half of the year for property taxes, so our revenue related to property taxes has been jumping up, here in these next couple of months, but everything's still tracking where we would expect it to be, so that's all I have unless there's any questions.
Questions, I'll take a motion.
I move the board accept the monthly financial report for March 2025 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Director Ayers, second by Director Smith, that the board accept the monthly financial reports for March 2025 as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Walkley?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Kunkel?
Yes.
Mr. Camerich?
Yes.
Mr. Ayers?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes. And thank you all for attending tonight. I hope the district band concert goes well tonight, and those of you attending, enjoy it. Future dates for meetings will be Monday, May 12th. It'll be a regular time, and then next one would be on a Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day, at 6 p.m. as well.
And then just a reminder, you probably saw an email this morning, if you haven't seen it yet, from Zach Miller regarding the aircraft. They're inviting you out on Saturday morning, May 3rd, between 8:30 and 11 to see the aircraft. And part two of that is we hope the aircraft will be taking off for flight the first weekend in June. Cross your fingers, and the really good news is you may have potentially 2 buyers for the plane. So fingers are crossed that we'll be selling the plane here yet after that flight.
That's amazing.
And for the Davenport Municipal Airport.
It will be, yes. Yeah, we've moved the plane from the North Scott hangar, or North Scott bus garage, to the hangar now at the municipal airport.